Japan, a land of rising suns, ancient mysteries, and a civilization that has withstood the tides of time. From samurai warriors to majestic castles, from breathtaking innovations to tales of unthinkable resilience, Japan's story is a journey like no other. How did a nation of islands become a world power, yet keep its traditions alive for thousands of years? Today, we will uncover secrets hidden in temples, scrolls, and history itself. Brace yourself for an epic journey across time. If you love your country, subscribe now, and if you love your mother, comment below. Japan is a land of contrasts, where ancient shrines sit quietly beside neon-lit skyscrapers, and centuries-old traditions breathe life into one of the world's most innovative societies. The story of Japan is not just about emperors and wars. It is about people, ideas, and resilience that has transcended time. From the earliest settlers of the Jomon period, who left behind cord-marked pottery and primitive tools, to the Yayoi farmers who transformed the islands with rice cultivation, Japan's islands have been a canvas for human ingenuity. The rhythm of life was dictated by the seasons, the tides, and the mountains, shaping societies attuned to nature, spirit, and community. As clans competed for power, they established the foundations of governance, law, and military order. The arrival of Buddhism in the 6th century intertwined with Shinto beliefs, creating a spiritual landscape unique to Japan. Temples were not merely structures. They were centers of knowledge, art, and philosophy, influencing generations. The Heian period gave birth to courtly culture, literature, and aesthetics that continue to define Japanese taste. Poets and writers crafted stories that captured human emotions in ways that resonate even today, while the samurai rose as both guardians and symbols of honor, loyalty, and discipline. Feudal Japan was a world of rigid hierarchies and intricate alliances. The Kamakura and Muromachi periods witnessed the consolidation of military power, the rise of regional warlords, and a flourishing of art and philosophy. Zen gardens, tea ceremonies, no theater, and calligraphy reflected a society where discipline and beauty coexisted. Even in periods of civil unrest, culture thrived. Each battle, rebellion, and political maneuver was interwoven with the creation of literature, art, and religious practice, leaving a legacy that still inspires. The Edo period, under Tokugawa rule, was a time of unprecedented peace and stability. Samurai became administrators, cities thrived, and commerce flourished. The arts reached new heights. Ukiyo-e woodblock prints depicted everyday life. Kabuki theater dramatized human passions, and haiku captured fleeting moments of natural beauty. Japan's isolation policy allowed internal development to flourish while protecting cultural identity, preparing the nation for eventual encounters with the wider world. The 19th century forced Japan to confront rapid change. Commodore Perry's arrival and the unequal treaties disrupted centuries of isolation. The Meiji Restoration restored imperial authority, abolished feudal domains, and launched rapid industrialization. Railroads connected cities, factories produced goods at scale, and modern armies emerged. Education expanded, Western knowledge blended with Japanese traditions, and the nation transformed almost overnight. Yet, in the midst of modernization, respect for ancestry, local customs, and the enduring spirit of the samurai continued to shape society. Japan's entry into the modern era was marked by ambition, war, and innovation. The early 20th century saw Japan becoming a global power, navigating the challenges of international diplomacy, economic expansion, and military conflicts. World War II brought devastation, but it also tested the resilience and resolve of the Japanese people. Cities lay in ruins, millions were displaced, yet the nation rebuilt with astonishing speed, blending tradition with cutting-edge technology. Skyscrapers rose from bombed-out streets, and cultural practices adapted without losing their essence. Modern Japan represents a seamless fusion of past and future. Ancient castles and temples stand alongside bullet trains, electronics, and robotics. Festivals, tea ceremonies, and martial arts continue to celebrate history, while urban innovation propels the nation forward. This duality, honoring centuries of tradition while embracing modernity, is the essence of Japan's identity. Each region, from Hokkaido's snowy landscapes to Okinawa's tropical beaches, contributes to a diverse tapestry of history, culture, and innovation. Understanding Japan requires more than dates and events. It requires immersion into the values, struggles, and triumphs of its people. From the meticulous artisans perfecting pottery and textiles to warriors embodying Bushido, Japan's story is one of creativity, discipline, and perseverance. Natural disasters, political upheavals, and foreign influence tested the island's resilience, yet Japan emerged stronger each time. Cities and villages rebuilt, cultures adapted, and the nation maintained a sense of continuity that few others in history have managed. Art, literature, and philosophy were never merely aesthetic pursuits. They were tools for survival, reflection, and identity. The minimalism of Zen gardens, the precision of calligraphy, and the grace of no performances reflect values that shaped everyday life. Even in the 21st century, these traditions influence architecture, design, and social conduct, blending seamlessly with modern inventions, corporate innovation, and technological leadership. Japan teaches that progress does not require abandoning heritage, but harmonizing it with the future. Every corner of Japan tells a story. Ancient battlefields whisper of samurai valor. Shrines and temples recount centuries of devotion. Streets of Kyoto, Osaka, and Tokyo showcase how historical preservation and modern urban planning coexist. Festivals honor deities, seasonal changes, and historical events, ensuring that each generation understands its roots. Education, art, and civic life all carry traces of history, demonstrating that Japan's past is not static but actively informs contemporary society. In understanding Japan's journey, from Jomon pottery to the digital age, we uncover lessons of endurance, adaptation, and creativity. This is not merely a history lesson. It is a living story, a reflection of human capability, resilience, and vision. The narrative of Japan is proof that a nation can respect its past while shaping its future, remaining deeply rooted in identity even amidst extraordinary change. Which aspect of Japan's history inspires you most? The elegance of Heian culture or the resilience of post-war recovery? Japan's history does not begin with kings, empires, or armies. It begins with silence. Thousands of years ago, long before the world had maps or nations, the Japanese archipelago rose from volcanic fire, untamed, unpredictable, and breathtaking. Into this rugged landscape came the Jomon people, the earliest known inhabitants of Japan, living between 14,000 BCE and 300 BCE. They were not warriors or conquerors. They were artists of survival. Their pottery, some of the oldest on Earth, carried the impressions of rope, fire, and nature's rhythm. These markings were not mere decoration. They were echoes of a world where humans lived in harmony with mountains, rivers, forests, and unseen spirits. Their lives revolved around the seasons. The sea gave them food, the forest gave them shelter, and nature itself taught them balance. From this bond emerged the foundations of Shinto, the belief that everything has a spirit. Every rock, river, tree, and gust of wind held meaning. Japan's identity was born not from war, but from reverence. This unique spiritual framework would define the nation for millennia. Then came the Yayoi period around 300 BCE, and with it, the greatest transformation Japan had ever seen. The arrival of rice cultivation changed everything. Where Jomon life had been shaped by nature, the Yayoi reshaped nature itself. They built irrigation canals, cultivated massive rice fields, forged iron tools, and developed bronze weaponry. Villages grew into organized communities with leaders, systems, and early political structures. Food surplus meant wealth, and wealth meant power. Clans, once simple family groups, now competed for influence. The seeds of Japan's future samurai society were sown. The landscape was changing, and so was the human spirit. Ambition awakened. Structure emerged. Society became layered. For the first time, Japan's destiny was being shaped by human hands rather than nature alone. As centuries passed, myths gave the nation a shared sense of origin. Stories recorded in the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki claimed that Japan's first emperor, Jimmu, descended from the sun goddess. Whether fact or legend, this belief unified people under a single identity. Meanwhile, Buddhism entered from Korea and China in the 6th century, bringing philosophy, architecture, and new political models. Temples rose. Statues of serene Buddhas glowed in candlelight. Priests, monks, and scholars became influential advisors. Chinese writing systems allowed Japan to document laws, events, and ideas, no longer just telling history, but preserving it. Japan was no longer an island at the edge of the world. It was becoming a civilization. The Asuka period, 538 to 710 CE, saw centralized power grow. Influential clans battled for dominance in the imperial court. Reform after reform reshaped the government, borrowing from China's sophisticated bureaucracy. With each change, Japan grew more organized, more unified. Art flourished. Religion evolved. The identity of the islands sharpened. But beneath the elegance of temples and government reforms, political friction simmered. The hunger for influence, first born in the Yayoi era, was becoming a constant force. The Nara period, 710 to 794 CE, marked the first permanent capital, a symbol of Japan's rising ambition. Kofun tombs, scrolls, Buddhist scriptures, and new laws defined this era. Stories of gods, emperors, and heroes became part of national consciousness. Villages grew, trade expanded, culture blossomed. Yet the court struggled to control powerful regional clans, a tension that would soon shape the course of history. In 794 CE, the capital moved to Kyoto, beginning the Heian period, Japan's golden age of sophistication. This was an era where beauty was power. Aristocrats wrote poetry instead of treaties, expressed love through flowers and ink, and found meaning in the shadows of lanterns. But beneath this delicate culture, real power was shifting, silently, steadily. The samurai, provincial warriors born from necessity, were rising. While nobles wrote poetry in Kyoto, warriors forged destiny in the provinces. Japan was about to change forever. The Kamakura Shogunate, 1185 to 1333, ended aristocratic dominance and ushered in the Age of Warriors. Real authority moved from the emperor to the shogun, the military ruler. Samurai became the backbone of governance. Their code, Bushido, valued loyalty, courage, self-sacrifice, and honor. It shaped Japan's soul. Villages thrived under samurai protection. Trade expanded. Castles rose. Society was reorganized under military discipline. Japan had entered an age where swords, not scrolls, controlled the land. The Muromachi period, 1336 to 1573, saw both chaos and cultural brilliance. Regional warlords, daimyos, competed for power. Political instability was the norm, yet culture thrived beyond imagination. Zen Buddhism influenced everything from architecture to gardening to painting. Tea ceremonies became a symbol of refinement and strategy. Even during conflict, Japan sought beauty, precision, and meaning. Then came the Sengoku period, 1467 to 1600, the age of endless war. Japan fractured into dozens of rival states. Clans rose and fell like storms. Castles grew gigantic. Alliances shifted overnight. Assassinations, betrayals, and battlefield genius shaped every moment. Firearms arrived from Europe, changing warfare forever. But even in war, artistry bloomed. Poetry, craftsmanship, theater, and literature thrived. Japan's spirit refused to be broken. Finally, in 1603, Tokugawa Ieyasu unified Japan and began the Edo period, a transformation as dramatic as any war. Peace replaced chaos. But peace came with rules. Japan closed itself off from most foreign influence. Social classes were strictly defined. Samurai became administrators. Merchants grew wealthy. Cities flourished. Edo, Tokyo, became one of the world's largest urban centers. Kabuki theater mesmerized crowds. Woodblock prints captured the floating world. Haiku distilled emotion into a few words. Japan had entered a stable, disciplined, culturally explosive era. But the world changed. Ships with black smoke and steel cannons arrived in 1853. Commodore Perry demanded Japan open its ports. The old world had ended. Japan faced a choice: adapt or fall. The Meiji Restoration, 1868, electrified the nation. Feudalism was abolished. Samurai privilege ended. Factories, railways, modern armies, and new education systems appeared almost overnight. Japan modernized faster than any nation in history, without losing its cultural soul. By the early 20th century, Japan became a global force. The nation embraced technology, industry, and innovation. But ambition led to conflict, and conflict led to devastation in World War II. Cities burned. Millions suffered. The future looked uncertain. Yet Japan rose again, stronger, faster, more determined. Post-war reconstruction ignited an economic miracle. Technology boomed. Culture thrived. The nation reinvented itself without abandoning its roots. Modern Japan stands as a symbol of resilience, an unbroken chain between ancient spirits and futuristic cities. From Jaman pottery to neon-lit skylines, from samurai codes to bullet trains, the soul of Japan endures, disciplined, creative, unyielding. Which era of Japan shakes your soul the most? The silent age of samurai or the explosive age of modernization? Subscribe now for more hidden truths, and comment if you love your mother. Japan's story begins in shadows, where myths and whispers intertwine with mountains, rivers, and the restless sea. Long before cities rose, before emperors claimed divine descent, ancient islands were inhabited by people whose lives remained partially hidden in the mists of time. The Jaman people, artisans of clay and stone, left behind cord-marked pottery, fragile traces of a world that existed 16,000 years ago. What drove them to settle, to create, to carve symbols into clay that would echo through millennia? Every shard tells a story, yet the true motivations, the spiritual drives, and the secrets of their daily lives remain mysteries scholars continue to uncover. As the Yayoi period emerged, the island's transformation became both a marvel and an enigma. Rice paddies reshaped the landscape, metal tools forged new possibilities, and societies grew structured and stratified. Powerful clans rose, yet written records were sparse, leaving historians to piece together fragments. Who truly held power in these early societies? How did ordinary people survive the struggles between clans and nature itself? The answers are hidden beneath layers of earth, in relics and ruins that refuse to speak easily, tantalizingly close yet distant. The introduction of Buddhism in the 6th century brought new light and shadows. Temples rose, statues gleamed, and foreign knowledge flowed into the islands. But along with enlightenment came questions, mysteries, and subtle conflicts. How did the Japanese reconcile the foreign teachings with Shinto, their deeply rooted indigenous beliefs? Temples became not only spiritual centers, but repositories of knowledge, art, and intrigue. Monks and scribes preserved scrolls, documenting events in cryptic language, leaving us clues to unravel millennia-old enigmas. The Heian period, often celebrated for its refinement, holds its own hidden layers. Behind the delicate silk robes, poetic ceremonies, and artful calligraphy, rivalries simmered. The imperial court was a theater of whispers, conspiracies, and veiled power struggles. Families competed for influence, often through marriage, alliances, and subtle manipulations. Stories of ambition, jealousy, and secret correspondence survive in literary records like the Tale of Genji, but much remains veiled, open to interpretation. Which whispered words changed the fate of emperors and ministers? Which unseen decisions redirected the course of history? These mysteries haunt Japan's golden age. By the Kamakura period, the rise of the shogunate added another layer of shadow and intrigue. Samurai, the elite warrior class, wielded real power, yet the emperor remained a divine figurehead. The tension between symbolic authority and practical control created hidden dynamics, invisible to the common eye, but vital to the nation's trajectory. Every castle, every fortress, every training ground held secrets, strategies whispered in the dark, codes of loyalty that bound lives and fates together. Histories of battles are recorded, yet countless small decisions, betrayals, and alliances remain shrouded in mystery. The Muromachi period intensified the enigma of power. Regional warlords, or daimyos, vied for dominance, creating layers of suspense and uncertainty. Alliances shifted overnight, betrayals were sudden, and battles could emerge without warning. Yet culture flourished alongside conflict. Zen gardens, no theaters, and tea ceremonies cultivated mindfulness and reflection, hiding stories of intrigue beneath beauty. who truly influenced the course of events? Which minor lord's decision would tip the balance of war? Each artifact, each poem, each brushstroke hints at unseen forces shaping history, leaving us to wonder, speculate, and search for hidden truths. During the Sengoku period, Japan was almost entirely a land of suspense and mystery. Warring factions controlled territories, and loyalties were tested at every turn. Castles became both homes and puzzles, fortified with secret passages, traps, and hidden chambers. Strategists plotted in shadows, while spies moved unseen. Did decisions of a single warrior alter the fate of an entire province? Which betrayals went unnoticed by the chroniclers? This was an era where appearances often masked reality, and history itself was layered with deception, strategy, and suspense. The Edo period, despite its peace and apparent order, was not free from mystery. The samurai became administrators, merchants thrived, and towns blossomed, yet beneath the orderly streets and artistic achievements lay questions of societal balance. How did commoners navigate the rigid hierarchy? What whispered deals occurred in tea houses and markets? Edo's elaborate culture often concealed tensions and conflicts beneath beauty and tradition. Even the ukiyo-e prints, so vividly portraying daily life, hinted at stories untold, glimpses of secrets behind closed doors. The 19th century brought new mysteries as Japan faced the outside world. Commodore Perry's black ships arrived, demanding an opening to trade. The political landscape was suddenly transformed. Which leaders would embrace change? Which would resist? The hidden negotiations, secret plans, and rapid modernization decisions created layers of intrigue as the nation balanced tradition and innovation. Japan's identity itself was questioned as ancient customs met foreign technology, law, and culture. The Meiji Restoration revealed new enigmas. How could a society so deeply rooted in centuries of hierarchy and isolation adapt to industrialization, modern government, and global diplomacy? Behind the visible triumphs, railroads, factories, armies, lay countless personal struggles, secret alliances, and decisions unseen by ordinary citizens. The nation moved forward, but the mysteries of human choices, sacrifices, and unseen consequences continued to ripple through society. Even Japan's rapid rise in the 20th century, its victories, ambitions, and tragedies, was woven with layers of mystery. Political intrigue, international diplomacy, and military strategy often played out behind closed doors. Which meetings determined the course of nations? Which whispered warnings were ignored? And in the shadows of war, countless personal stories of courage, deception, and survival unfolded, leaving traces in letters, diaries, and ruins, each a fragment of a hidden narrative. Japan's history is a tapestry threaded with secrets, ambiguities, and unanswered questions. Each era, from the ancient Jomon to modern cities, carries mysteries waiting to be explored. Every temple, castle, and artifact invites us to ask, what is known and what remains concealed? Who were the silent architects of change? Which decisions altered destinies without being recorded? These mysteries compel historians, scholars, and enthusiasts alike to dive deeper, to speculate, and to seek understanding of a civilization that has always balanced seen and unseen, known and unknown. And now, as we move through the shadows of Japan's past, ask yourself, which mystery fascinates you most? The secret strategies of samurai warlords, the hidden intrigues of the Heian court, or the unseen forces behind modern Japan's transformation? Beneath the surface of Japan's serene landscapes, suspicion has always lingered like a silent shadow. Ancient clans did not simply coexist, they watched, calculated, and waited. Every alliance carried the possibility of betrayal, every gift or message a potential trap. The Heian court, celebrated for elegance and poetry, was also a theater of whispered distrust. Ministers and aristocrats plotted silently, marriages masked ambitions, and every compliment could hide ulterior motives. How many of history's grand decisions were guided not by wisdom, but by fear of hidden enemies? The question haunts every scroll, every tale, and every legend of that age. When the Kamakura shogunate rose to power, the balance of authority shifted, creating layers of doubt. Samurai swore loyalty to their lords, Yet the tension between personal honor and strategic advantage bred subtle deception. Secret alliances formed in the shadows, and small betrayals could ignite wars. Castles, designed to protect, also concealed spies and secret passages where suspicious plots took shape unnoticed. Every decision carried weight, and trust was a luxury few could afford. During the Muromachi period, regional lords or daimyos ruled their territories with cautious vigilance. Suspicion became survival. Warlords constantly assessed their neighbors, seeking signs of weakness or treachery. Messages were coded, movements scrutinized, and friendships often double-edged. Even advisors and family members could be agents of suspicion. The Sengoku period, aptly named the Warring States era, was a testament to this constant undercurrent of doubt. Alliances shifted overnight, betrayals were swift, and fortunes turned on the smallest misstep. Nothing was certain, and everyone lived with the weight of anticipation. Edo, despite its surface calm, carried the same undercurrent. Samurai might enforce law and order publicly, but behind closed doors, tensions simmered. Merchants navigated strict regulations, wary of punishment or theft. Artisans guarded their techniques, knowing that imitation could destroy livelihoods. Even cultural achievements were intertwined with suspicion. Who would gain patronage? Who would be celebrated? And who left out? In a society valuing hierarchy and honor, one's reputation could be sabotaged by a single whispered rumor. Suspicion was not only political, it pervaded religion, philosophy, and intellectual life. Buddhist and Shinto institutions, both powerful in their reach, observed loyalties. Temples and shrines were not merely spiritual centers. They were nodes of influence, where monks and priests watched both rulers and citizens with careful eyes. Knowledge was guarded jealously. Scrolls and teachings often carried coded meanings. Who could be trusted with such information? Which messages were genuine, and which concealed ulterior motives? The answers were never clear, deepening the atmosphere of intrigue. The arrival of the Western world intensified suspicion. When Commodore Perry's black ships entered Japanese waters in 1853, the nation faced both wonder and fear. How could Japan preserve its sovereignty in the face of superior technology and unknown intentions? Within the leadership, debates raged. Reformers sought modernization. Traditionalists feared loss of identity. Every decision was scrutinized, every proposal questioned. Suspicion now extended beyond borders. Foreigners were met with caution, and every treaty carried hidden stakes. The Meiji Restoration amplified both ambition and doubt. Old samurai and newly empowered leaders observed each other warily. Reforms transformed society rapidly. Railways, industry, and armies emerged, but the pace of change bred uncertainty. Could the emperor truly unify the nation? Would modernization erode centuries of culture? Every decision carried the shadow of suspicion. Even victories in diplomacy or industry were tinged with concern over hidden consequences. Leaders learned to act cautiously, for one misstep could unravel months or years of effort. In the 20th century, suspicion took on new dimensions. Political intrigue, global diplomacy, and military strategy intertwined in complex, often opaque ways. Decisions leading to wars or alliances were rarely straightforward. Secret plans, hidden motivations, and undisclosed negotiations shaped Japan's trajectory. Even ordinary citizens, unaware of the high-stakes plotting, lived under the consequences of unseen decisions. Trust was fragile, appearances were deceptive. In both domestic and international affairs, the question of who can be believed haunted every action. Suspicion also manifests in culture and society. Literature, art, and folklore abound with tales of betrayal, hidden enemies, and moral dilemmas. From the silent tension of a tea ceremony to the disciplined codes of Bushido, the constant presence of observation, judgment, and caution shaped behavior. Life in feudal Japan demanded vigilance, as the smallest oversight could have grave consequences. This pervasive sense of watchfulness left an imprint on generations, teaching vigilance, caution, and respect for hidden forces shaping reality. Ultimately, Japan's history is defined not only by events and achievements, but by the silent, invisible currents of suspicion that guided decisions, forged alliances, and influenced outcomes. Understanding this hidden tension offers deeper insight into how a nation navigated power, loyalty, and survival over millennia. From secret councils to whispered rumors, from cautious diplomacy to strategic deception, suspicion was both a tool and a weapon, shaping the very fabric of society and governance. And as we explore these shadows, ask yourself, where does suspicion still linger in history's grand design? The tension that had simmered for centuries finally erupted into dramatic transformations that would define Japan forever. From the ancient clans of the Jomon and Yayoi periods, suspicion and intrigue evolved into full-blown conflict and decisive action. By the Kamakura period, the samurai had risen not just as warriors, but as arbiters of destiny. Their swords cut through centuries of uncertainty, their loyalty both feared and revered. Power was no longer theoretical. It was embodied in fortresses, armies, and the unwavering discipline of men who pledged their lives to their lords. The Muromachi and Sengoku periods plunged Japan into nearly constant warfare. Clans battled over land, influence, and legacy. Castles became the epicenters of strategy and survival, fortified against betrayal, and layered with hidden passages and traps. In this era, a single decision could shift the fate of an entire province. Lords studied the movements of allies and enemies with obsessive precision. Spies reported secret information, and battles often turned on the unexpected courage or treachery of a single samurai. Every victory was hard-won, every defeat brutally instructive, and the rhythm of life pulsed to the drumbeat of conflict. Amid this turbulence, cultural achievements flourished, paradoxically thriving in the shadow of violence. Zen gardens, tea ceremonies, and no theater reflected a society seeking balance amid chaos. These artistic endeavors were more than aesthetic. They were mechanisms for reflection, strategy, and psychological resilience. A warlord who mastered the tea ceremony or appreciated poetry could command respect, inspire loyalty, and even manipulate opponents subtly. In these moments, culture became a weapon, diplomacy a game, and every interaction a test of foresight. The Edo period brought a stark transformation. After centuries of near-constant warfare, Tokugawa Ieyasu unified Japan, establishing peace that would last over 250 years. Yet beneath the serene streets of Edo, suspicion lingered. Samurai adapted from warriors to administrators, wielding authority with the precision of a scalpel. Merchants prospered under rigid regulations, artisans honed their crafts, and the population learned to navigate complex social hierarchies. Every public calm was underscored by private vigilance. Appearances masked calculated observation, and stability demanded constant effort. The peaceful Edo era was a climax of both culture and control, a testament to strategic patience that had been forged in centuries of conflict. The 19th century brought another, more sudden climax. Commodore Perry's black ships shattered Japan's isolation, exposing centuries of carefully maintained secrecy and caution to the formidable force of Western industrial power. The nation faced unprecedented challenges: modern military threats, unequal treaties, and the moral dilemma of change versus tradition. Reformers and traditionalists clashed in councils and secret meetings, each wary of betrayal. The very survival of Japan's culture and sovereignty depended on decisive action, and the stakes could not have been higher. The Meiji Restoration of 1868 ignited a whirlwind of political, social, and economic transformation. The emperor's return to central power dismantled the old feudal order. Railroads, factories, modern armies, and new educational systems reshaped society at breathtaking speed. Every innovation carried risk. Technological leaps could fail, social reforms could provoke rebellion, and foreign relations could destabilize the delicate balance of power. Leaders operated under immense pressure, balancing rapid modernization with deep cultural identity, striving to ensure that Japan would not be swallowed by the tides of the industrialized world. During this period, tension erupted on multiple fronts. Samurai, whose swords had long defined authority, struggled to find relevance in a society built on bureaucratic efficiency. Former warlords negotiated positions in a rapidly modernizing state. Resistance and adaptation coexisted in uneasy harmony. Decisions were made in intense secrecy. Whispers shaped policy, and the future of the nation rested on careful, sometimes audacious choices. Japan's trajectory hung in balance as the nation moved from the brink of internal collapse to the emergence of a modern, industrial power. The climax of Japan's emergence as a global force continued into the 20th century, where ambition, war, and innovation collided with catastrophic consequences. The nation expanded its influence abroad, encountering both triumph and tragedy. Political intrigue, alliances, and international diplomacy dictated the path of history. Every maneuver carried risk. The smallest miscalculation could trigger monumental repercussions. Within this tumult, Japan faced World War II, where the stakes were existential. Cities were destroyed, millions perished, and the nation confronted the ultimate test of resilience and unity. Yet, even amid devastation, Japan's resilience and strategic genius became evident. Post-war reconstruction was unprecedented in scale and speed. Cities rose from ruins, technology advanced rapidly, and cultural continuity was preserved. Leaders and citizens alike worked tirelessly, navigating challenges with ingenuity, discipline, and unwavering commitment. The climax of destruction transformed into a climax of rebirth, a nation forged anew, blending centuries of tradition with the innovations of the modern world. Throughout these centuries, Japan's climax moments were defined by the interplay of visible and invisible forces. Battles and treaties were only the surface. Beneath them, human ambition, loyalty, suspicion, and courage dictated outcomes. Decisions in private chambers, the quiet observations of samurai, the strategy of daimyos, and the innovations of leaders all contributed to historical turning points. Each decisive moment rippled outward, reshaping society, culture, and identity. The drama of history, fully realized, is not merely in what happened, but in the unseen threads that determined how it happened. Even cultural achievements were part of this climactic arc. Art, literature, architecture, and philosophy were not separate from politics and conflict. They were intertwined. The aesthetics of Edo, the disciplined grace of No, and the spiritual focus of Zen reflected the very mechanisms by which society endured, adapted, and thrived under pressure. Every artistic creation was a statement of resilience, subtly reinforcing order, strategy, or authority. In Japan, the climax of history is both violent and beautiful, destructive and creative, public and hidden, all at once. From ancient samurai duels to modern industrial triumphs, from secret councils and castles to technological marvels in Tokyo, Japan's history is a succession of climaxes. Each era's peak carried the weight of preceding mysteries, suspicions, and conflicts. Every decision was amplified by the consequences of those before it, creating a tapestry of cause and effect that is as intricate as it is compelling. Understanding these climactic moments allows us to see the rhythm of Japan's history, cycles of tension and release, of conflict and resolution, of destruction and rebirth. And as we stand on the edge of these dramatic peaks, witnessing the rise, fall, and rebirth of a nation shaped by centuries of calculated risk, strategic brilliance, and indomitable spirit, ask yourself, which turning point do you find most gripping? The samurai's battles, the Meiji reforms, or the resilience of post-war Japan? The ripples of Japan's history extend far beyond battles and political upheaval. They shape the very fabric of society, culture, and human experience. The legacy of ancient Jomon and Yayoi peoples is visible in the deep respect for nature, community, and tradition that persists in modern Japan. Their early agricultural practices, artisanal craftsmanship, and spiritual rituals laid foundations for a society that values harmony, precision, and resilience. Even today, festivals, agricultural cycles, and local customs echo these ancient patterns, demonstrating the enduring influence of the earliest Japanese civilizations. The rise of samurai culture brought both discipline and moral frameworks that continue to permeate social behavior. Bushido, the code of honor emphasizing loyalty, courage, and integrity, shaped generations of leaders, warriors, and ordinary citizens alike. These values instilled a sense of duty and responsibility that transcended class and era. Loyalty to family, community, and nation became guiding principles, influencing not just governance and warfare, but also personal conduct, education, and business ethics. Feudal hierarchies, while rigid, cultivated a sense of order and social cohesion. Villages, towns, and provinces were interconnected through mutual obligations, trade networks, and cultural exchange. Even under strict Tokugawa rule, commerce thrived, and artisans developed mastery in crafts that became emblematic of Japanese identity. Pottery, textiles, lacquerware, and woodblock printing were not mere commodities. They were vessels of culture, symbols of pride, and carriers of history. Edo period urban life demonstrated how order, stability, and creative expression can coexist, shaping a society that balances discipline with innovation. Japan's encounters with the outside world had profound societal consequences. The forced opening in the 19th century and subsequent Meiji restoration sparked rapid industrialization, urbanization, and modernization. Traditional roles and institutions adapted or disappeared, challenging individuals and communities to rethink identity, work, and social structure. Education expanded, empowering citizens to engage with new technologies and ideas. Women gained more visibility in urban life, trade, and social movements, subtly reshaping gender norms. The societal impact of this era was monumental. A nation transformed from feudal isolation to global engagement in a single generation. The social implications of industrialization and modernization were both empowering and disruptive. Rural populations migrated to cities, creating urban centers bustling with commerce, industry, and culture. Family structures evolved, traditional occupations shifted, and new professions emerged. These changes challenged societal norms while fostering economic growth and cultural dynamism. Education, literacy, and access to knowledge created opportunities for mobility and innovation, allowing Japan to compete on the global stage. Yet, underlying all these transformations was a continuity of values. Respect for elders, devotion to craft, and loyalty to community remained central to Japanese life. World War II and its aftermath reshaped Japanese society in ways both dramatic and subtle. Devastation and loss forced communities to rebuild physically, economically, and psychologically. Urban planning, public health, and education underwent transformation, creating resilient systems that continue to support the population today. Cultural preservation became intertwined with modernization. Temples, shrines, and historic districts were maintained even as cities rose, technology advanced, and global culture influenced daily life. The result is a society that honors its past while embracing innovation, demonstrating the profound societal impact of historical continuity amidst radical change. Japan's arts and literature, influenced by centuries of history, continue to define social identity. The discipline of calligraphy, the aesthetics of tea ceremonies, the storytelling of no and kabuki, and the visual narrative of ukiyo-e prints serve not only as cultural artifacts, but also as tools for social cohesion, moral education, and national pride. Each artistic expression reinforces values cultivated over generations: attention to detail, patience, mindfulness, and respect for tradition. This cultural continuity strengthens the social fabric, providing citizens with shared symbols, rituals, and narratives that transcend time. Modern Japan's technological prowess is itself a reflection of historical societal structures. The meticulous approach to craft, the emphasis on education, and the commitment to collective effort trace back to centuries of organized communities, disciplined samurai culture, and structured governance. Industrial innovation, technological leadership, and urban development are not isolated phenomena. They are societal achievements rooted in historical practices of precision, dedication, and adaptability. Every Shinkansen train, every electronic innovation, and every cityscape is a testament to the cumulative societal impact of history. Education, governance, and civic responsibility in Japan are deeply influenced by historical patterns. The integration of moral philosophy, collective responsibility, and respect for knowledge in educational curricula reflects centuries of societal evolution. Civil behavior, workplace ethics, and communal participation are imbued with the lessons of history, emphasizing accountability, harmony, and foresight. The historical impact on society is thus both tangible in infrastructure and institutions and intangible in values, norms, and shared consciousness. Even contemporary challenges, natural disasters, economic fluctuations, and demographic shifts highlight the enduring societal impact of Japan's past. Systems of disaster preparedness, communal support networks, and adaptive policies are deeply informed by historical experience. Communities respond with coordination, discipline, and resilience, echoing centuries of adaptation to both environmental and human challenges. In this way, the societal structures, behaviors, and attitudes forged through history continue to guide and sustain modern Japan. In conclusion, Japan's societal evolution demonstrates how history shapes not just events, but the very people who live them. From the earliest settlers to the modern metropolis, the threads of discipline, loyalty, innovation, cultural preservation, and resilience are woven into daily life. The impact of historical events, wars, reforms, alliances, and cultural achievements extends far beyond the chronicles of leaders and battles. It permeates neighborhoods, schools, workplaces, and homes. Understanding this societal impact provides profound insight into how Japan has become a nation of endurance, creativity, and cohesion. And now, consider this. How has Japan's history shaped the values you see today in society, culture, and community? Japan's history is a journey of mystery, suspicion, conflict, and resilience, stretching from ancient Jomon settlements to the bustling modern metropolises of today. It is a story of people who adapted, innovated, and persevered through unimaginable challenges. Each era, whether marked by samurai battles, cultural flourishing, industrial transformation, or post-war recovery, contributes to the identity of a nation that honors its past while embracing the future. The lessons embedded in this history are not only about power or conquest, but about the enduring human spirit, the importance of vigilance, loyalty, and creativity, and the ways in which culture shapes society. As we reflect on Japan's extraordinary journey, remember that history is alive. It influences our values, our communities, and the way we navigate challenges today. By understanding the struggles, triumphs, and innovations of the past, we gain insight into resilience, unity, and human potential. Which part of Japan's story inspires you the most? The ancient secrets, the samurai valor, or the modern reinvention?